Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dusttale Retrospective, which was chosen by y'all. Thank you. If you would like to recommend a retrospective on an Undertale character or AU, please put it in the comments or vote on my community tab, which will be up in the coming days. Now, let's get into the Dusttale Retrospective. Dusttale started out as a Korean ass blog created by Ask Dusttale, which debuted on February 10th, 2016. As it was originally posted in Korean and I only know English, finding info about the story without any fanon included was hard, but here's what I was able to find. After countless resets, Sans ends up snapping. This AU works on the idea that Sans can remember all resets, leading to him murdering the entire underground in order to get a higher LV than the player and defeat them. After murdering Papyrus, Sans starts to hallucinate him as a phantom, though this is not the actual Papyrus. The murder of his own brother breaks Sans' sanity even further than it already was. He now obsessively attempts to kill the human, changing his attack pattern every time, but to no avail. Also, just want to mention, because this is a big piece of fanon, it is specifically stated that in this on the wiki that in this version, Sans does not wear his brother's scarf. Anyways, that is what I was able to find out of the original story, though other interpretations have fleshed things out more. The more well-known version of the story is in the Dusttale fan game, which is a bit rough. As a game, I mean. But that's not important. In this version, after 328 genocide routes, Sans remembers everything from every timeline, and as a result, snaps and decides to murder everyone before the human can. He proceeds to kill Toriel, Papyrus, Muffet, Alphys, depending on whether or not you go into the True Lab, and Metaton. He attempts to kill Undyne, but the human gets to her before he can. Eventually, you and him face off in the Judgment Hall, and, after defeating Sans, he slowly starts to lose his memories of all the timelines, yet again, causing this all to basically loop back around. The game also has a pacifist route, a more pacifistic route, I guess, which changes the final battle. In this version, Frisk starts to fight against Kara's control, who in this game is controlling them, and attempts to spare the first Whimsum you encounter, but can't. And when you're about to kill Undyne, they attempt to fight Kara's control, but again, to no avail. And they also place a flower on Muffet's grave. After that, during the Sans battle, if you hit the Act button, Kara intervenes and attempts to kill Sans anyways, but Frisk jumps in the way, tanking the blow. This initiates a battle with Kara instead, where, after winning, Sans gives up and leaves, remarking that he'll see them in the next timeline. Those two sources were the two big starting pillars for Dusttale, with all other works building off of them, and Dusttale Sans becoming a very prominent multiverse figure. He ended up becoming part of a trio with fellow murderous Sanses, Killer and Horror, in the Murder Time trio. This trio often serves under another Dark Sans, Nightmare. However, Killer is the most commonly associated with Nightmare out of the three. Dust does have a few small AU appearances, like in the Villain Sans Squad, where the Murder Time trio confront the Bad Time trio, but outside of that, there hasn't been much for old Dust Sans. A few fan games, some minor cameos, and that's about it. Except for an alternate take on the AU. Dr. Megalo, a Dusttale reimagining by Artsy Ren, is perhaps one of the coolest ideas for an Undertale AU ever, in my opinion. The story is basically Dusttale, but Alphys takes Sans' place. It also directly references Dusttale at one point, alongside mentioning how out of character most alternate AUs and timelines for Sans are. That's really funny. This AU is an interesting idea, as I feel Alphys would definitely snap before Sans. At least that's what I think. But her turn to the dark is so sudden, I am not going to drag on much longer, but if you want to find out more about it, there is a document linked in the description that was created by the creator that mentions every single route, character stuff, etc. I will say this though, it is awesome to finally see someone take the amalgamates seriously. Like, an old AU I created had a use for them similar to this, but this is just so cool. Showing how their DT affects memories in the timeline is so novel, and it makes a good amount of sense. Also, this is one of my favorite depictions of Sans. It's slightly out of character, but it's still good. Anyways, that entire rant aside, let's get back to Dusttale. The core version, I mean. While Dusttale is probably one of my least favorite Undertale AUs slash alternate timelines, I understand why it is so popular. The idea is an interesting concept, but its execution can feel overly edgy. And when we have a whole AU that's entire purpose is to be overly edgy, I don't think we need another one. Anyways, this is not to say that I hate Dusttale or anything. Saying it's one of my least favorite of the main Undertale AUs just means it's a 7 out of 10 among masterpieces. And I think it's on the right track. A good reinvention of the idea could make an okay AU into a great one, like what Team Switch did with Underswap. Yes, that is my opinion, and I stand by it. Fight me. Anyways, that's kind of all I have to say about Dusttale. Sorry this video took so long, and doubly sorry it's so short. I just didn't really have a lot to say on the AU. But, yeah, have a good day, night, afternoon, morning, whatever. Bye!